What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. We're not drinking beer today. Once again, we are talking UFC 319, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, and the countdown to the end of the pay-per-view era is on. This is one of the final pay-per-views that we're going to get on the ESPN platform, and when it switches to Paramount for that $7.7 billion over 7 years, there's not going to be any more pay-per-views. Beautiful stuff. $7.99 for Paramount. Count me in. But yes, we got Dricus du Plessis defending his championship against Khamzat Chimaev at middleweight. Aaron Pico making his UFC debut, taking on undefeated Lerone Murphy. Aaron Pico is the definition blue chip prospect from Golden Gloves Boxing. Great jiu-jitsu, great wrestling prowess. Dude's got so much hype around him. Is he going to be able to perform under the big lights? We'll talk about it. Fun-ass card. We're going to give you the best bets as well. Currently, year-to-date, we're up 28.74 units. So, doing pretty good. Not doing bad. Up 280% profit. That's not bad, I think. Oh, goodness. But, yeah, this whole card slaps. They did it great from top to bottom. There's stakes at the top with the championship fight with Aaron Pico versus Lerone Murphy. That could be a number one contender fight. Then you got Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal. Certified banger stand-up fight, without a doubt. And if you want another stand-up fight, we threw MVP in there with Jared Cannonier, who hates to wrestle. Great fight in its own right. And then you get Kaya Sakura, huge cult following over in Japan. He's taking on Tim Elliott. So, gonna get into all that here today. But first, I want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit us with a sub if you feel so kind. If you're listening on audio-only platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, you know what it is. Make sure you leave us a review. 5 stars really helps the program. So, doing our best out here to just keep talking about MMA and keep killing it as we can. But yeah, this card checks all the boxes. It's got prospects, it's got champs, it's got vets, does the whole thing. And no, none of these fights I think are going to be boring. So, I think I've bullshitted enough. Don't you? We can go ahead and get started with our main card breakdown. What is going on with my recording app is all wonky. I'm getting all thrown off here. It's okay because we got Khamzat versus du Plessis, and Khamzat right now is a minus 235 favorite. Du Plessis coming back is plus 190, and those odds seem crazy wide to me when you think about how du Plessis has been doubted in every single fight. In every single fight, he's prevailed. He's exhausted his opponents, beat them up, and lately he's been finishing the best of the best with Robert Whittaker, with Israel Adesanya. He went 10 rounds with Sean Strickland and beat him in both of those fights. So, Dricus du Plessis is an absolute wrecking ball. But Khamzat Chimaev is also a wrecking ball. This guy shoots out of a cannon, literally shooting takedowns from 3 yards away, grabbing you at the hips, slamming you down, and jumping on your back, taking the neck. It's so fast. It's so ferocious. The wrestling style is something like we've never seen in the UFC before. And Khamzat's like nothing we've ever seen. Now, will he be able to keep that up for 5 rounds if he doesn't get du Plessis out of there early? I don't know about that. Now, what I do know about is they have Khamzat. If Khamzat wins, it's probably going to be in the first round, I would imagine. I keep hearing people say it's first or second round. He's blowing that load in the first round. He's shooting his shot in the first round. He's coming out in the second gassed if he doesn't finish du Plessis. And I'm not saying he's finishing du Plessis, but plus 330 for Khamzat sub round 1, plus 700 for Khamzat KO round 1. I would sprinkle a little bit on that because if you put both of those in, you're bound to make your money back, 1 unit each. I really like that, and those are actually some of my bets I'll get into later on the show. But yeah, Khamzat, he's got to do it early, right? That's what everybody's been saying. Yes, he's been working with TJ Dillashaw, working on his conditioning and things like that. But when you fight at that style, you're not going to be able to do that forever. You got 5, maybe 7 minutes. And if it goes past the 7-minute mark, Dricus is going to drown this dude. He's going to beat him up. He's going to mess with him. He's going to pick him up and slam him. People are making a big deal out of the video where Khamzat looks 4 inches taller than Dricus, where they met in the hotel earlier this week. I don't think it's I don't think it's a big deal. I think Khamzat's wearing lifts. Dricus is just wearing some normal shoes. And it's camera angle. 6'2 to 6'1 is what they're listed at. Sometimes people lie about that, but not by that much. I don't know. I don't think there's much to do about it. Khamzat is the taller guy. Dricus is much bigger, though, physically. I think I'm picking Khamzat in this, but I'm not betting confidently in Khamzat. I am sprinkling because the odds are crazy that if you're going to make Khamzat plus 230, you might as well take him in the first round by both those submission odds and knockout odds, plus 330, plus 700. But yeah, I'm not going to feel confident because I've doubted DDP before. I doubted him against Robert Whittaker. I doubted him against Adesanya, against Strickland, against Derek Brunson, against Darren Till. I've doubted him against all these guys, and he always prevails. He's got this awkward, unorthodox style. He doesn't do things the traditional way. He doesn't throw a normal strike. He doesn't take you down the normal way. And he's impossible to game plan for. So I'm not confident in picking Khamzat because Dricus is the ultimate wild card. But what I've seen from Khamzat is something special. Is something that nobody's ever been able to stop yet. The closest being Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. And they're applauded for just making it to the final bell against this guy. I mean, Khamzat is he's a killer. So for that reason, I'm going with him in round one because I think if he does get it, like I said, he's got to get it early. And yeah, that's his path to victory. It's early. Dricus is a warrior. He's won wars of attrition. He's gone 4-5 rounds before multiple times. So if it goes late, live bet the shit out of Dricus. If you see Dricus get the shit kicked out of him in round one, live bet it. Live bet it when he's a plus 1,000 dog and they're like, oh, he's not coming back from this because Khamzat's going to be gassed. But I digress on that fight. So I got Khamzat in it, but not confident because Dricus is just too hard to pick against. And that brings us to our co-main event. Aaron Pico taking on Lerone Murphy. Aaron Pico minus 190 favorite, plus 160 for Lerone Murphy. And like I said at the beginning of the show, Aaron Pico, definition of a blue chip prospect. The guy's got great jiu-jitsu, a lot of wrestling accomplishments, Golden Gloves boxing in the amateurs. So he's done it all. He's got all the accolades in all these separate sports. 11 finishes in his 13 MMA victories. Coming over to the UFC. How's he going to perform under these bright lights? We've seen the Bellator fighters kind of falter, and I don't want to hear that I'm a casual because these Bellator guys have been sitting on PFL's shelf forever. I think it's more ring rust than the bright lights getting to them. And ring rust is not going to be your friend against a guy like Lerone Murphy, who's going to be moving around, bouncing, staying on the outside, sticking and moving. He's a great kickboxer, but he's not a knockout guy. He's going to point you up, and he's going to stick and move and stay on the outside for the entire fight if you let him. I don't know if Pico is going to be able to cut the ring off or cut the cage off against a guy like Lerone Murphy. Nobody's been able to do it to this point. Lerone Murphy's undefeated. Not the most liked fighter in the UFC, but what he does is effective. So I actually like Lerone Murphy as a dog in this one at plus 160. I think that he's just going to be able to get the job done. I think he's going to stay on the outside. I think ring rust is going to be a real factor. We might see Pico rally late, and in a 5-round fight, I would really favor Pico, I think. But 3 rounds, I think it's going to take some time for Pico to find his range, to get comfortable back in the octagon. And we've never seen Pico fight anyone to the level of competition like Lerone Murphy, where we've seen Lerone Murphy fight dangerous opponents, show his iron chin, and get past them. He's fought people to Pico's level, where Pico has not fought people to Lerone's level. He's fought Josh Emmett. He's fought Dan Ige, where, Pico's fought Jeremy Kennedy and, I can't, that's what it is, he just hasn't fought anybody. So I like Lerone Murphy, but it would be a lot more fun if Aaron Pico won this fight because it shoots new life into the featherweight division, someone people are going to get excited for. No offense to Lerone Murphy, but he's not exactly a needle mover. People aren't excited. He reminds me of Leon Edwards. Everybody wants a striker, except when you're a reserved talking striker that fights on the outside, doesn't really go for the kill. So it'd be great for the sport if Pico wins. This is a tough matchup for your UFC debut. It's a real tough match. So I like Murphy, and I like him by decision, but money line's the way to go because I just don't know what to expect out of Pico. We've seen him get knocked out before, so the chin's not that great Whereas with Murphy, we've seen him get dropped. We've seen him go against Josh Murphy, get rocked a little bit, bounce back, show that his chin's there, his recoverability's there. I like Lerone Murphy, and he doesn't get in dumb exchanges. Where Pico, we've seen him get in exchanges and get pieced up before. But that's going to be a fun fight, striking affair, I'm sure. If Pico wants to grapple, he could definitely make it a grappling affair, and that would be his path to victory, but it's just the ring rust. It's a real problem. PFL did an absolute disservice to these fighters by keeping them on the shelves and not investigating what their contract was before they took over the Bellator product. It really hampered a lot of careers. You look at Patchy Mix, sat on the shelf practically for 3 years. I know he fought Magomedov in the meantime, but one fight in 3 years, that's nothing. Aaron Pico's had one fight. Patricio Pitbull, I think he had one fight under them as well. It's really pathetic what they've done by forcing these guys to sit out because they couldn't figure out what to do with them. But we'll move on to the featured fight of the night. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. Jeff Neal's coming in as a plus 210 dog, minus 260 for Prates. And this fight slaps. It's going to be on the feet the entire time. And I can tell you how it's going to go down. If it stays on the outside, Prates is going to piece him up with pop shots, jab, straight shot, overhand, looping hooks, or not even looping, just like slapping hooks with a lot of power. Both these guys' punches thud. Jeff Neal, what he's going to need to do is pressure Carlos Prates. He's going to need to put his head into the chin of Prates, get on the inside, clinch work, dirty boxing exchanges on the inside, because at range, Prates is going to have a huge advantage. I don't think we're going to see a lot of kicks thrown at all in this fight, but at boxing range, boxing range on the outside, Jeff Neal is going to be in a world of hurt. But if he gets it inside and throws some dirty boxing, I could see him catching Prates, because Jeff Neal hits hard as hell. Jeff Hands of Steel Neal is the nickname because he hits hard as hell. Went to split decision with Ian Gary, same guy that just beat Prates. So I know MMA math doesn't mean anything, but the odds are a little wide. I like Prates here. I kind of think he might get a knockout just because Jeff Neal's been through so many wars, but we haven't really seen Jeff Neal go down a hill yet. He's always been right around that 10 to 8 range as in the welterweight rankings. He's a perennial top 10, but never top 5 in. It's a tough test for Prates, but it's going to be a fun one. And Prates is so deadly. The aura around this guy when he's fighting, it's just, he looks so relaxed out there with his hands down. He's throwing, he's popping his shots, he's moving in, moving out. Kind of like MVP, a little more devastating though. But yes, I like Prates. Probably by TKO, but we'll have to see. I like Prates though. I don't know if Jeff Neal is going to be able to pressure for 15 minutes. Prates has great footwork to be able to keep the pressure off of him. But speaking of MVP, just a second ago, he's fighting Jared Cannonier. Cannonier plus 165, minus 195 for Michael Venom Page. And this fight, another one that bangs. This card just slaps. I love it. MVP's a striker, and Cannonier's a wrestler is a striker that absolutely hates wrestling. Nobody strikes like MVP. You can't game plan for it. He's bouncing in and out. The blitzing attacks, lightning fast speed. The striking is there. MVP's the real deal, and he's shown he can do it at 170, at 185. He's looking for that feature knockout that he has yet to get since coming to the UFC, and Cannonier might be the guy to give it to him. He might, just being 41 years old, I know MVP's 38, but there's been a bit of a difference in how they looked. I think Cannonier is going to be a little confident because of the Gregory Rodriguez win, but I think that might be a problem because his speed is nowhere near MVP's. MVP's range management is going to be an issue with his front kick to the leg, front kick to the body, and then his blitzing attacks. I don't think Cannonier is going to be able to deal with that, and I don't think he's going to be able to catch MVP in a wrestling mix-up because MVP's footwork is just too good. I think the odds are really good here for MVP to get the victory. Maybe a parlay piece for you if you like that. But MVP's getting the win, and I would love to see him get a TKO. Nothing against Jared Cannonier. I just love the MVP celebrations after a KO with the Pokeball, with the Thanos glove, with the Venom, with whatever he decides to do. I love it. So, parlay piece at minus 195, but I don't love straight betting him, but I think he's definitely getting the win in this. Unless Jared Cannonier just decides we're going chest to chest this whole fight. Hell to the fans. I'm on a win or a show win fight contract. So I need to win this, and I'm gonna make this fight suck to get my extra paycheck. I could see that happening. And then the last fight on the main card, we got Kai Asakura coming off his title loss to Alejandro Pantoja almost a year ago in his UFC debut, fighting for the title, no less. What a wild thing. He's fighting Tim Elliott, who's 9-11 in the UFC, but the guy is gritty. He's a warrior. He makes every fight tough and close. And I think he's a live dog here. I think Tim Elliott might win this. The way that he gets into your chest, the way he can take you down, he can wrestle you. He kind of has a Marab style with less dominance, maybe less of a gas tank, but I think he's going to have a better gas tank than Asakura. Asakura, though, he's going to be dangerous early. He throws flying knees, crazy strikes. His punches are strong, real knockout power. But I don't know how great his wrestling is. If he's been training with the Japanese wrestling team, which is like one of the best wrestling teams in the world right now, it's having a crazy resurgence. If he's training with them, that's great, and I don't think he'll have a problem with Tim Kennedy. It's not Tim Kennedy. That's what I wrote down here. Tim Elliott. I don't think he'll have a problem with Tim Elliott, but I do think that Tim Elliott's going to win. I think Tim Elliott's going to out-wrestle him, make it kind of a weird, high pace, but wrestling heavy attack, and I think Elliott's going to get the win here. I like him. I like him as a dog. I couldn't believe it was plus 250 when I was looking at it earlier. And that's all we got for the main card breakdown. We also have some prelims that absolutely bang, with Bobby King Green taking on Diego Ferreira in age-appropriate matchmaking. 38 for Green, 40 for Ferreira. And this fight bangs. I like Green as a plus 130 dog here. I don't think either of these guys are necessarily that great, but I think Bobby Green's style gives people trouble up to a certain level of talent, and I don't think Diego Ferreira is there to be able to figure out Bobby Green's weird striking attack. So I like Green as a plus 130 dog on there. And then if you're looking for more money to be made, Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Olszewski. Great fight. Both guys get or get got guys. You got a striker in Olszewski and a grappler in Gerald Meerschaert. Meerschaert will get beat up for an entire fight and then finish you in round 3. It's not crazy to pick Olszewski round 1, round 2, TKO KO, or Meerschaert round 3 submission in a parlay or in a little hedging bet. It's definitely not going the distance, though. I can't see a world that this fight goes the distance. Olszewski in 16 UFC fights, only 3 decisions. That's wild. Gerald Meerschaert, I think he's got like 39 wins or 29 wins, no decision victories. And he's got the most finishes in the middleweight division of all time. It's going to be fun. Then you got Chase Hooper coming back to take on Alexander Hernandez. Hooper's looked great since moving up to 155, and he's continuing this tour of taking on UFC vets, taking them out of there, these old dudes. Even though Hernandez is somehow only 32 years old, he's been fighting forever in the UFC. He's old by MMA age. Still a good fighter, good test for Hooper. He's going to have to get past Hernandez's wrestling. Hernandez will probably have a little bit better striking, but Hooper's been very just on lately. High fight IQ, taking the fight to where it needs to be so that he can continue his winning streak and his winning ways. And then you got Jessica Andrade versus Lupe Godinez in a fight that's happening. Edson Barbosa in his lightning fast kicks, wild spinning kicks, taking on Drakkar Klose, who's 15-3. That's going to be a fun fight. I think Drakkar Klose is a live dog at plus 160 in that. Barbosa's always fun, always puts on a good fight. I thought he won his fight with Lerone Murphy, but that was a while ago now. He hasn't been super active lately, but yeah, that's a great fight, and it's on the early prelims. And then you got Brian Battle taking on Nursultan Ruzoboyev. That's a fight that bangs. Battle always has fun bouts, except for his fight with Randy Brown, kind of a weird one. And then you got the tough finales, probably the last tough season of all time, if we're being honest. Probably the last season of tough that we're ever going to get. It's a great card. This card absolutely slaps, covers all the bases, checks all the boxes. I said it at the beginning of the show, but yes, this card, it slaps. And now, and UFC going back to Chicago, first time in 6 years. Good on them. Crowd's always pumped as long as you're not coming to Zanesville or Columbus, Ohio. Crowd's always pumped if you haven't been there in forever to support the UFC and their fighters. But we'll move on to our best bets before we let you go today. We got We started off putting 1,000 up each week. We switched it over to units, so $100 would have carried over to 1 unit to get us just back to where we're at. We're up 28.24 or 0.74 units year to date. I'll have to go back and check my numbers here, but this week we got 10 units. Putting 3 units on Lerone Murphy at plus 154 is what I got him at. 3 units give you a 7.62 unit payout, so love that there. Then we got Carlos Prachas parlayed with King Green. Plus 223. Give me 2 units. Gets a 6.47 back. I said it when I was breaking down the fight, but Khamzat, sub round 1, plus 330. 1 unit gives you a 4.3. Khamzat KO round 1. 1 unit. Plus 700. 1 unit gives you 8 units back. And that leaves me with 3 units to go. In those final 3 units, I'm putting on Tim Elliott plus 250. Those 3 units will turn into 10.5 units. And we're going to be making a lot of money on this card. Going up, continuing to climb the mountain. And I've got a climb bet that I'm going to have to put in. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet because a lot of these fights are so close. I'll post that on my X. And yeah, that's all I got for you for this UFC card. Tune in later this week. I'm going to have tomorrow, PFL breakdown for their championship affair going down this Friday night on August 15th. So make sure you check that out. But that's all I got for you today. Follow us on the socials. X, we're Blood Beer MMA. Subscribe, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Check us out. Thank you for tuning in to Blood and Beer. This was the 319 main card breakdown. That's all I got for you, baby.